Hello. Supposed to be a veteran here? Okay, veteran of Army, 30 years, 33 months in Vietnam, mostly in the Saigon area. First worked as Intel in headquarters in Saigon. Then I went to the Armed Forces Language School and actually taught English. Actually, it wasn't English, it was English terminology and usage, because one of the requirements for the Vietnamese to be a student is he has to, and or she had to be able to speak English fluently. I also went to the field to interview potentials. People who wanted to go to the school would be interviewed by one of our Vietnamese teachers. And I would observe this, and one thing I noticed after a while that we were asking Vietnamese potential students the same questions. You know, what's your name? Are you married? Do you have any children? And stuff like that. So one day I sat down and asked a student those questions. Hi, my name is, and he told me, and I asked him his name, he told me his name, and then I asked him if he's married, and he said no. And then I asked him how many children he had, and he said he doesn't, what did he say? None that he knows of. So I knew he understood what I just said. He wasn't trying to get into school because he could speak English. And ever since I've used that kind of joke also. Are you married? No. You have any children? None that I know of. Anyway, how'd that work out, huh?
Are you finished?
I'm not sure. What am I doing? I just told a little joke and story about my military time. And the reason I stayed in Vietnam the whole 33 months is in the time period I assumed that if I left, I'd have to be back in a couple of years anyway, or even a couple of months, similar to what they're doing in Middle East now. People come back and are here a couple of months and then got to go back. So some people have gone to Asia, in the Middle East, 5-6 times, and they got more to do. So I just decided to stay in Vietnam. I wasn't in combat exactly. One incident that I can recall was during Tet. Tet is the Vietnamese New Year, and in January 30th, 1968, which was my birthday, by the way, I was celebrating my birthday, and I went to sleep, and I woke up to sounds of gunfire outside my place. I lived in a place across the street from the school where I was teaching. And I could obviously to school, and I went out to my little mini balcony at night and noticed that the place was under some sort of an attack. And so I was concerned, first of all, because soldiers at that time who were stationed inside Saigon were unarmed, which I was. It was unarmed by rules, laws. Anyway, so the attack occurred, and I said, what am I going to do? I'm stuck here. I'm in the middle of an attack, and I don't have a weapon. So I looked around for my household tools, and I had a knife. And I heard people going around, somebody knocking on the doors, and they weren't breaking into the stores, they were telling people something. So I suggested that something was going on. So I just kind of stayed in until a while later, as it got light, I noticed troops coming up alongside my building, actually across the street, and I assumed they were against my building, facing the attack. So I just kind of stayed there because I didn't want to stick my head out because some sniper was liable to take it off if he was here any good. One of the things I did notice, I saw a person shot on the other side of the street when he kind of looked out and got out in the street too much. Somebody shot him, and I swear he said, "Oh my God, I am shot." But I don't believe he said that because he was Vietnamese, and I don't think that's what a Vietnamese would have said in that instance. Then as they moved back, several hours later, up came American troops. Again, I wasn't going to stick my head out and do anything right away. So kind of the shooting and attacking and firing, all this other jazz, and an overhead helicopter would swoop in to the compound across the street. And when it swooped in, I noticed that on the roof of my house, somebody would run across the roof and open fire and then run back. And I thought to myself, what is that guy doing, shooting at the helicopter? And I figured that if he was shooting at the helicopter, that doggone thing's going to come back and shoot at the building, and I'm in it. So I figured after a while, he wasn't shooting at the helicopter, he was shooting with it. As the helicopter swooped in, he went out and opened fire at the compound. Thinking about going up and talking to him, but I wasn't sure who he was. And anyway, after a while, I noticed that everything, it's like late in the afternoon. All the troops moved back, and I couldn't see anything. So I said, if they're moving back, they may be being pushed back. If they're being pushed back, I may be overrun, so I better do something. So I finally decided to get out in the street, got down on the street and walked out and looked to my right where the compound was. And I couldn't see anybody looking at me, so I looked to the left, and there was our troops about half a block down the street or more. So I decided I'd walk down, and I wasn't going to walk down there, I was going to walk in between buildings, which I did. And in one of them, there was somebody sitting in the corner, and he must have saw me coming because he didn't shoot at me. And I was in military uniform anyway. And I finally got down to the end of the street where the vehicles were and told them who I was, what I was doing, how long I'd been there, etc. They put me in a vehicle and sent me to Tan Son Nhut, the airfield next door, which took care of me. I was not actually caught up too much. And I was there for a day or two, I forget what it was, and then finally I went back to the school, and the commander was when I walked in, and he welcomed me back, and because there were very few Americans in it, we were helpers at the school. And he congratulated me, and he said that I'd been MIA because they couldn't find me. And I said, well, here I am. And that was the end of it. End of my war story, anyway. And Tet, they were shooting up, attacking every place in the area, but they didn't get me. Thank you. I am kind of finished. What did I do? Finish? All right. I thank you. I wasn't a true combat. I was in the combat. Thank you.